question is that the words proposed to be omitted stand part of the question, and I call the honourable member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And Deputy Speaker, it's not often I get to start a speech in this chamber by saying I'm about to get a free lunch, because the member for Macnamara put out a challenge that any member who could come in and explain where a small modular reactor was being developed in the world today or being utilised in the world today will get a free lunch. So I went and did the research, and lo and behold, there is in a floating SMR an academic Lomonov, which is the northeast region of Russia right now, and it's used for the purpose of water desalination. The power of technology utilised to be able to build the future and hydrate the planet and desalinate water. So, to the member for Macnamara, Elwood Bathers, great restaurant in your electorate, looking forward to doing so. Can't wait for the lunch. But I know that for the member from Macnamara, it must be a difficult conversation, because he fits as part of the science deniers on the Labor side of politics. The science deniers who deny the science behind nuclear power, who don't want to engage in understanding the power of these technologies. Don't get me wrong, as bad as the member for Macnamara is, he's not as bad as the ineffectual Marxist member for Melbourne, who's a science denier on genetically enhanced food, a science denier on nuclear power. And Senator Hanson-Young in the other place is now talking about how the Greens Party is being infiltrated by anti-vaxxers, vaccine deniers. We're starting to look at the Greens Party and go, they really don't like science, technology, progress and building the future of this country. And the focus of this government is to bring the future forward and to build the jobs and opportunity for Australians. And I hear the derision they throw towards gas. Clearly the Marxist member for Melbourne has never been to a factory in his life. Go out the back of Goldstein Electric to parts of Hotham and parts of Isaacs and go to those factories that melt metals as part of their business. And you know what fuel they use to melt the metal? It's gas. So you can rant and rave about it as much as you want about how you can't support it, you can't have it as part of the economy, but it's a critical part of the manufacturing base, including to do things like build components for electric cars. That's exactly what they do, but you can't do it. What are you going to do? You're going to melt metals with the burning flames of what comes out of wind power or solar power? It's simply absurd. We've got to look at a mix of technologies, and what we're trying to do in this bill is build a reliable energy base for the nation. And we shouldn't be holding ourselves back, because when the Marxist member for Melbourne gets up here and says that he's so anti-nuclear and won't support under any circumstances, though he says there's a climate crisis, it shows you that he's prepared to shove other things in front of it, and it's a dishonest statement. He doesn't actually believe it. He's not committed to it. He's an anti-nuclear activist. He's not actually campaigning on climate.
Order.